All right, I got to admit, mixed feelings right now on the Steelers trade with the Miami Dolphins. So the Steelers, according to Schefter, have given up Minkah Fitzpatrick and a late-round pick. We're not sure specifically what that pick is, but it's just a late-round pick. And the Steelers, in return, get Jalen Ramsey, an old corner past his prime, and Jonnu Smith, who just had the best season of his career as a tight end for the Miami Dolphins. So listen, you got an offense with Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, George Pickens, a pretty good running game, I guess. The problem is the offensive line in Pittsburgh is yikes, and that's not great news for an old washed quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. But listen, my major issue with all of this is that, we know the Steelers' entire identity is defense, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when the league has shifted so much to not just an offense league, but a quarterbacks league, as I've talked about since 2021 on my show, and the Steelers seem to just neglect the position by drafting Kenny Pickett, who was at best a third-round talent, then going after a Russell Wilson past his prime, going after Aaron Rodgers past his prime, on all of these one-year contracts, and using 5 of their 7 picks, despite the massive deficiencies in the offensive line, and to a degree in the running game, which they did draft a running back. To be fair, 5 of their 7 draft picks the Pittsburgh Steelers used on defensive players. Defense was not the problem in Pittsburgh last year. Number 1 in terms of turnovers forced. Number 8 in terms of scoring defense. They were an excellent defense last year and still fell apart because of their quarterback situation. Their offensive line was not very good. And so, Jonnu Smith's a good player. I actually like that addition. The Jalen Ramsey addition, feels like it could be kind of a disaster potentially. And the irony, though, with the Minkah Fitzpatrick, and who's a good dude, excellent player. But if you remember in 2019, Minkah Fitzpatrick was traded to the Steelers in a season where Pittsburgh went 8-8. Big Ben played 2 games. They were going nowhere fast. They traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick. That first-round pick they gave up happened to come in a draft that featured Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love, and Hurts. Safe to say that trade didn't work out so well for Pittsburgh. But, hey, defense wins championships. The standard is the standard. Maybe this all but locks it in. No more losing seasons, at least in 2025 for Mike Tomlin. That is the standard, after all. At least that's what I'm told.